Hey everyone, it's Jonathan, and welcome back to the Disney Movie Marathon. Today we are talking about not just one of the best films in the Disney library, but really one of the best films in movie history, period, Mary Poppins. Today I'm joined by Stanford Clark and Mark Brown, two huge fans of Disney, Disney history, and film history in general, and we have so much to say about this one, so let's just jump right in. Let's start with memories of this movie because this is one of those movies that I remember watching a lot when I was a kid, but it's also one of the movies that it was in a very brief window
Hmm.
because I don't know if this is the same for either of you, but sometimes when you had a movie that you didn't own, like you borrowed it from somebody, you just watched it
Mhm.
over and over and over and over as a kid. Like that
Mhm.
happened with several movies, and this was one of them. Because I remember we borrowed Mary Poppins from somebody, I don't remember who, and we watched it to death, probably.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I watched it a ton after that month or however long we had it, but I remember watching it so many times when we borrowed it. I think the thing that I most remember Mary Poppins for is the music, because we had somebody stay with us for a few years who also, weirdly enough, was kind of like a nanny. Like she was a family friend and she didn't get paid. She just stayed with us. But she had a whole bunch of Disney CDs, like all of the what were they called? They were the what each one had a different color. They were like the iconic Disney soundtracks. It wasn't like a full soundtrack. It was just like all the biggest hits of Disney.
Like
Yeah,
volume
yeah.
one, volume two, volume three.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
She
I know what
had
you're
all
talking about. Yeah.
those. And she had a boom box and she made copies for of all of the CDs on tape for me. So I had all of those and I listened to those on repeat. Like I could sing these all of the songs that were on those CDs as I was watching. I was like, "Oh, I remember every single lyric of this song because I listened to those so much." So what about you, Stanford?
Yeah, it was the music first too for me, John. I my parents had an album of it was the original soundtrack of the film, and I loved the cover because it just had this great drawing of Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke on it, and I also think clip some shots from the movie, maybe around the back or on the inside, and
Hmm.
so I remember loving the pictures, and then I just, of course, I loved all the music. And then I saw it because I'm an old man. I saw it back in the day when Disney would re-release films in the theater. So that was probably the first time I saw it was actually in the theater. And then just it's been beloved. And then I think we probably saw it on TV. I bet it was on TV. And then of course we had the VHS and all the stuff as time rolled on. But so the music. Love the music.
Yeah, for me, I grew up with this. I didn't borrow it from a friend, but I did get it from the library, and that's how I saw it for the first time. I had heard of it, being a Disney fan, that Mary Poppins is a movie you've heard of, but didn't really know what it was about. But I don't even remember watching it for the first time, but I just know that I loved it since then, and I kept watching it and ended up making a copy of it for myself and collected the different versions of the DVDs that came out. Because I kept making like a 45th anniversary edition DVD and then like the
Hmm.
60th and like
Yes, yes.
every milestone they made something. And yeah, and I've said it before, so there's no spoiler, but yeah, this is my number one favorite live action Disney movie of all time.
And it's a good one.
Yeah, and it's in my top 10 favorite films of all time.
That doesn't really surprise me because I'd forgotten how good it was. Like in
Hmm.
in my memory, it's been years since I watched it. In my memory, it was a really good movie, but it wasn't one that was like, oh, this is like pure cinema. But
Yeah,
watching it this time, I was like, this is so much better than I remembered.
this was Walt's Magnum Opus. Like this
Yep,
was,
Yeah,
absolutely.
basically.
Absolutely.
if I'm not mistaken, this is the only film in his lifetime that got nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars.
Really?
I think
I
so.
guess that makes sense because they didn't really do animated films.
And then, but even none of the other live action ones like got that accolade. Like,
Yeah, well, most of his other ones were, well, I guess it was Treasure Island, but like a lot of his were not up to the par of like the other
mm,
things that would be getting Oscar nominations.
But this was the Magnum Opus. This was the Sherman Brothers Magnum Opus. This was like if you took this out, like Disney would be less. That's how important or how good Mary Poppins is.
Yeah, it was really good. Like I said, I was surprised watching. I was like, I can't believe I forgot how good this was. Like even the parts, well, like feed the birds.
Hmm.
Like thinking back on that as a kid, I remember being so bored during that scene. So I was like preparing to zone out when that started, and it was just like, this is so much better than I remembered thinking it was
Yeah.
as a kid. Like even the visuals, they were simple, but they reminded me of Fantasia. And Julie Andrews' singing voice, it's just amazing in that song.
Hmm.
Because like I always heard like that was one of Walt's favorites, if not his very favorite song.
Yeah. Richard Sherman said Walt used to just walk to the office and just tell him play it, and Richard would know what he meant, and he would just go to the piano and play the song while Walt would stare out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember hearing that and thinking, really, that was his favorite? Okay.
That was his favorite. Pink Elephants on Parade.
But I think I can see why.
Yeah.
It just really was good.
Hmm.
I think it's so. I with you. I laugh. I was bo I remember those that would kind of bore me as a kid as well. Some of those sections.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But rewatching it as an adult, I don't know. I think doing it with dare I say, just a little more mature eyes, it just hits home in such a it's such a powerful way. And I remember too the last time I watched it, which was I don't know, maybe a couple years ago or something, when the Let's Go Fly a Kite sequence. I mean,
Hmm.
I was bawling. I mean, it was just like I just because I just viewed it in such a different way. Just realizing how wonderful it is that Mr. Banks figures stuff out and gets really reconnected with his family,
Hmm.
and just how wonderful that is.
It's when you get old you realize Mary Poppins, she didn't come for the children, she came for Mr. Banks.
Yeah, she
He
came for
was the one
Mr.
that
Ex
had to learn the lesson.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
She was the one that had to be saved, hence the Saving
Yeah,
Mr.
hence
Banks movie.
hence saving Mr. Banks movie. Yeah, yeah.
Did any of you read the Mary Poppins books when you were small or were familiar with the
No,
stories, or was the movie your introduction?
I have never read any Mary Poppins books. So yeah.
I read either one or two when I was young. I don't remember them except there's one part that was just kind of burned into my brain because
Hmm.
it kind of blew my mind to think about it. Like it's obviously it's not a real thing, but like the idea, I guess, sparked my imagination. I've never been able to forget it. There was a part in one of the books where I don't remember how it's portrayed exactly, but there's either a baby or babies that talk to
I
animals.
think I know what you're gonna say, and I literally that's the only thing that sticks out in my mind too. You could go ahead, say it.
The I don't remember exactly how it went, but it presented the idea that when a baby is born, it can speak the language of animals or anything that can't like actually speak. And then as it grows up and starts learning how to talk to other humans, it slowly forgets the language of the animals. But while a baby is still a baby, it can communicate with all the creatures.
Yes, yes, yes. Literally, that's the same thing I said. I read either one or two. I don't remember for sure, but there's only one thing that's stuck in my mind, and literally, it's that same thing.
Interesting. Wow.
Yes,
Nice.
Yeah, I don't really remember much of the rest of the story, but that
exactly. That,
particular
yes, yes,
part,
that's stuck in my mind.
yeah, there was just something about the way that was written that was just like really fascinating to me.
It was kind of like half eerie, but at the same time, half like wholesome at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that we both just
We
specifically
Yeah.
remembered
literally,
that part of it.
that's serendipity as well.
Yeah, the other memories, quote unquote, that I have of the books is probably just stuff that I have read about them, because like in researching it was like, oh yeah, the Mary Poppins in the books isn't really as nice as the Julie Andrews Mary Poppins. And I don't remember if I actually remember that or if it was just because I read it again and thought I remembered. I don't know. But it's not exactly the same character in the books as it is in the movie. She's a lot nicer, which is one of the sticking points with P.L. Travers. I discovered she was
One
not
of
happy
the,
that they made her nicer.
Ah.
I don't think any author disliked an adaptation of her book more than T.L. Travers did for Mary Poppins.
The stuff I found about her, it was like it'll be interesting to watch Saving Mr. Banks because
Oh, you never
she
seen it?
seemed, no, I haven't.
Oh, you gotta see
It's
it.
always been one that I've meant to see but haven't gotten to. But she just seemed like, I don't know. I don't think I would have liked her.
She's not a very good character. Actually, in that movie, when they get to the credits, they actually play tape recordings of story meetings between her and the Sherman brothers and whoever else was in the room, so you could actually literally hear the stuff that she was criticizing.
That's interesting. I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, John. I think it's a very good film and such an interesting story too.
Yeah, it's just the hoops that he had to go through to appease her and then never fully appeased her.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of the few times Walt Disney was actually portrayed in film or TV by somebody.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've watched a whole lot of biopics about him. I know there's a couple that exist that have always been things that I've meant to get to, but never made it.
Mhm. They haven't really done like a good, like a real biopic just about Walt. It's always
About
been like an
him.
independent
Yeah.
film, independent like his pre-Mickey days or something like Saving Mr. Banks. But I think it'll be hard to do a biopic about him and not be l less than 3 hours long.
Yeah, there's so much that you could cover.
Right.
It almost would need to be like a mini series.
Yeah, that'd probably be better. But anyway, back to Mary Poppins. Like the only other thing about the story that I knew about Mary Poppins was in school. You know, when in English class you'd have the textbooks and like they would have like excerpts from random stories and stuff, depending on whatever you were learning. So one of the excerpts was a chapter from the Mary Poppins books. It was when she meets Uncle Albert. So that's the only other thing I knew about Mary Poppins from the book's perspective.
Did they have
Hmm.
the tea party on the ceiling? Do you remember
Yes,
that? Was
I
that
think
was
yes, they did have that from what I remember.
okay.
I guess before we get to the cast, we could talk about the film's production because this is one that he had actually wanted to make for a while, but it was his daughters that wanted him to do it. Apparently, his daughters had read the books and made him promise to make a movie based on them. And then he first tried to get the rights to make them in 1938, but she refused. She didn't believe a film version would do justice to her books. And I guess in her mind, she was right.
Right.
And really, like if the books are as different as I've read, in its own way, it probably doesn't really do justice to the books. But I almost want to say it doesn't matter. Because I don't want to say that it improved on them because I don't remember fully what the books were like. So it's hard. I can't say that it improved on them. But it's one of those cases where I like when I was a kid, if a movie didn't follow the book exactly, I didn't like it. Like they didn't do it right. I have a feeling that's probably what Mrs. Travers was like. But
Adaptations. Oh,
as I've grown up, I care less and less about that. And I mean, like now I have a whole podcast doing every version ever of things. So I appreciate the different ways that people interpret stories. So I don't really think that it matters that this isn't very faithful to the book because it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in two minds because I also agree that the movie, any adaptation can be amazing and doesn't have to follow what the original book was. And in this case, I think like I said, Mary Poppins is my favorite live action Disney movie, and I think Walt's best live action Disney movie ever made. At the same time, like I think I also could understand like if you own something, like you wrote a story, like you're also kind of protective of it, and you kind of want it to be portrayed the way that you want it to. You feel like ownership of it.
Hmm.
So it's like I understand that as well. But I also think, P.L. Travers was also a little too much.
Yeah, she sounds a bit much.
A piece of work.
I think they said she was so upset about it, she didn't, when they did the Mary Poppins musical, years later. I think it was only after she had died or like late in her life that they did. Oh no, 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 no. It was she didn't like the Sherman Brothers, the Americans doing the song, so she would only give the rights for the stage musical to be made because a British guy, Cameron McIntosh, was doing it.
Oh,
That's
right.
what that was the story.
They did that whole second round when they decided to do a stage musical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She must have lived quite a while then, because
Oh
the
yeah, she
stage
was like
musical.
96 or something when she died.
Oh, okay.
She lived a long life.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably talk more about the making of it when we get to Saving Mr. Banks.
Hmm.
So we could move on to casting. I don't know how accurate this is, but I read that early on in the production, they announced that they were thinking about casting Haley Mills and Mary Martin in the film. And I was trying to think, who would they play? Is that supposed to be Jane and Winifred?
That's a good question. Haley Mills sort of she is too old for anybody at that
That,
point,
yeah.
or too young for anyone else.
And I mean, Mary Martin is famous for playing a little boy. So, well, maybe she was Michael. I don't know. I
So,
don't know what they were thinking with that. I'm glad it didn't happen.
Interesting.
yeah, I haven't heard that, but if it's true, I think it's just because, well, they had Haley Mills, they might as well, use
Yeah.
her for her six movie contract or whatever.
Yeah.
She's still alive. We could ask her.
Yeah, seriously, that's interesting.
And then in casting Mary, people considered were Julie Harris, Bette Davis, and Angela Lansbury.
Betty Davis, okay, and Angela Lansbury. Okay, well, Angela Lansbury kind of came back for Disney after that.
Yeah.
Betty Davis.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can't picture Betty
I
Davis
can't either.
as Mary Poppins.
And then Walt wanted to cast Cary Grant as Bert, apparently.
I I
Oh,
could kind of see that.
no.
I think you could make that work.
I think so, but I think
He'll
ultimately
be too
the people
handsome
they
though.
got were
And
great.
frankly, a little too old, I think, at that stage. But again,
True,
you know,
he was old in the 60s.
yeah.
I think Bert is a character, like I don't remember if he's in the book or not, but I feel like that's a character that it doesn't really matter how old he is. Because part of me is kind of wondering, like I know he's not like magic, but like there was instances where he would do or say something and I was like, is he like I don't know what Mary Poppins is, but like is he somehow slightly magic? I don't know.
I never got that. I just kind of figured he hung out with Mary Poppins enough, so whenever he's around her, stuff always happens.
Yeah, probably. But either way, I whatever the case is with his character, I don't think the age matters too much. So if they had ended up casting Cary Grant, I don't think it would have been a bad thing. But I also think Dick Van Dyke was absolutely perfect for this role.
Oh no, yeah, Julie
Yeah.
Andrews and Dick Van Dyke were the perfect ones they could have chosen.
Yes. Yeah.
The whole cast, I would say, was perfect. David Tomlinson was perfect, and
Yeah, I think the whole cast was perfect too.
even Glynis Johns and Uncle Eddie, Edwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of its many strengths is just that perfect cast.
Yeah. So good. And the kids too. I love the
Oh no, they were
kids.
perfect.
I do too.
So they acted in three Disney movies together: The Three Lives of Thomasina, this one, and oh, I forget the other. Oh, The Gnome-mobile.
The No Mobile.
Mobile.
Yeah.
I've seen The Three Lives of Thomasina. I saw that one when I was a kid. I haven't seen it since, so I don't remember much about it. I have never seen the
That was a good one.
Gnome-mobile.
That was not a good one.
That's I think I have that one on DVD as like part of a compilation, like a collection of movies, and
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
watched it. I need to at some point.
Yeah, I mean it's not horrible. It's not all that good. They play siblings again in No Mobile, but in Thomasina they're not siblings. They're just two different kids. She's
Mm,
more of a main character. Her acting performance in Thomasina is like really good. Like I would say like Oscar worthy. Like that's how good she was in that movie. She was
mm.
frightening.
I need to watch that one again. I remember
Mm.
watching it as a kid. I remember the cat climbing a staircase, and
Ah, yeah.
I remember the kids in it, but I don't remember much about the story.
It was a good one. The sad thing though was how Matthew Garber, that's the name.
I
Yeah, how
Yeah.
know.
he passed away so young. He was only in his
So
20s.
young. It was really sad.
Mm.
Yeah, I read that. I hadn't realized that another one of the kids that Walt used multiple times died young.
Or Peter Pan,
Yeah,
Bobby
Bobby
Driscoll.
Driscoll. Yes,
yeah. Because I knew about him, but I hadn't realized that there was another one.
this one was more of an accident. I think it was like food poisoning or
Yeah,
something.
this was a different kind of tragic. He
Hmm.
contracted hepatitis in India,
Hepatitis.
and apparently by the time he got back to London, it had gone into his pancreas, and he died the next year.
That's horrible. Oh,
Yeah. And his three movies for Disney were the only three movies that he did, like ever. When he was a kid, just one after the other, he did three movies, and then I guess he was done making movies.
Well, he picked three. He
good
was with the good
one.
company,
Well, yeah,
the right company. Let's say that.
yeah. I think again, particularly Mary Poppins.
Two out of
Yes.
three ain't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But David Tomlinson, I think is one of he's one I love him a lot as an actor. I think he's a very underrated, especially in this movie, how good he is. Like one thing that bothers me a lot is like when they do a lot of like behind the scenes of Mary Poppins and like they interview the cast and or whatever, and they keep doing it every so often. And people, they talk about Julie Andrews as they should, they talk about Dick Van Dyke as they should. I've never heard anyone mention anything about David Tomlinson.
Oh, interesting.
Any anecdotes about David Tomlinson, like on set or anything, or anything related to David Tomlinson? And I don't know why that is. Was he just a private shy person? I don't know, but I would think there would be at least one or two funny or interesting stories on
Right.
set. But I've never heard a single anecdote about David Tomlinson, especially in regards to making this movie.
Hmm.
And he also did three movies for Disney.
Yeah, the love bug.
The Love Bug and
Bed Knobs and
Red
Broomsticks.
Dot Six. Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All three movies that I grew up with.
And yeah, I think they're all really solid movies.
they're all different type of characters.
Yeah. And I'm not
Yes.
sure I've seen any other movies he's done, but he was a big part of my childhood because I loved the Herbie movies growing up and I loved Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
I think I've only seen one movie that he did that was not Disney.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think it. I'd have to look. I'm sure. I probably have seen him in other things, from my love of Turner Classic Movies.
Mhm.
But yeah, I couldn't just name it off the top of my head.
I think he was perfect as Mr. Banks, but if you had to recast Mr. Banks, I kind of would like to have seen Rex Harrison as Mr. Banks.
Hmm.
He would have been good too. And that
I could kind of see that
so
working.
yeah, so British in the
Yeah.
style of singing.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Which is kind of a speak sing. I don't know what
Yeah.
you call it, but
It's Rex Harrison singing.
yes.
I guess speaking of British, we should talk about the accent.
Or
Dick
lack
Van
thereof, or
Dyke.
inconsistent use with Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, that's
I
just kind
don't
of
think it didn't even register to me as a kid, so I don't know how much it matters, but
No,
I guess watching it now, I can tell that it's bad, but I also don't care.
I don't even think it's that bad compared to how bad of a reputation it's got in culture.
Yeah, like people talk about it like it's the worst British accent they've ever
Like, no.
heard.
Have you heard Whoopi Goldberg in the Christmas Carol that I like and Jonathan doesn't?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Stanford, there's an animated Christmas Carol from 1997 with Tim Curry as the voice of Scrooge. It's my favorite Christmas Carol. But Whoopi Goldberg does a British accent as the ghost of Christmas present.
Oh dear, and she's inconsistent with it.
It's not good.
I didn't even realize it was Whoopi Goldberg when I was watching it. She does not sound a thing like Whoopi Goldberg.
The Dick Van Dyke, he often says that because of how bad his accent was, when he did Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, they made sure, okay, he's just gonna keep his American accent. He's not
Just
gonna even
keep the
try.
American accent. Yeah, don't even try. Yeah.
But he also says like after that he actually learned to do he's done a good British accent, not a Cockney one, but he actually can pull off a good British accent now.
Okay.
But I mean, not that he needs to, but
I mean, it made his character unique.
yeah.
Yeah, I felt it was just kind of like part of the charm. As a kid, it didn't bug me at all as a kid. As an adult, I just love it just because I think his performance is still so endearing.
Yeah.
Heck, for some people that might have been their first experience to a Cockney accent.
Yeah, I guess
I
Exposure,
mean,
I mean.
I don't know if it was for me or not, but it didn't register as weird to me. So,
Yeah. And Glynis Johns was amazing as the mother too. And
Glynis Johns.
and also this was also her like what third or fourth Disney movie, but like in a long time.
What else had she done? I know we've talked about her in past
She did
episodes.
Sword of the Rose, and she did Rob Roy. Was she also in The Legend of Robin Hood and His Merry Men? I can't remember.
I believe she was.
Mm.
I could be wrong, but I believe she was. Yeah.
Those three movies kind of like they all just kind of merge together
Yes. Yes.
because they have like four of the same cast between them.
Yeah.
So actually, when she was hired for Mary Poppins, she thought she was getting the role of Mary Poppins. So she was a little disappointed that she was getting the role of the mother. Um, and then Walt promised her, "Oh, the Sherman Brothers have written a song for you to sing, actually." And the Sherman Brothers are like, "What? We never wrote like the movie was already done. They put up their books already, like, and they just had to bring it all out and like get a new song for her, and that's where they got Sister Suffragette."
Huh. That's not one of the songs that I fully remember because it wasn't on those CDs, but it was a good song.
Yeah, all the songs I think were like this showed the Sherman Brothers amazingness. The only song I don't like or like my least favorite is Stay Awake. Like I could probably if I had to make a cut in that movie,
That
I
would be
would
the
cut
one.
that would be the one I'd cut.
I could see that.
But again, it's still not even a bad song. It's just not my favorite. I think also in terms of cast, this movie has a lot of good like character actors in like all the supporting roles.
It does. It has people that I hadn't even like it hadn't registered that I'd heard them or
Hmm.
seen them somewhere else. The one that I think probably surprised me the most was Hermione Baddeley as
Yeah.
Okay,
Ellen,
yeah,
the maid.
Yes.
She played Madame in the Aristocats.
she did. Yeah,
I did not make that connection ever. I was shocked when I read that.
yeah,
And then years later, she would go on to play Auntie Shrew in The Secret of Nim.
yeah.
Yes.
I want to say she did another Disney movie, but I can't remember. Was she in The Happiest Millionaire? Do either of you know?
I haven't seen that one.
I have seen it. Off
I
the
can't
top of my head,
remember. Yeah.
I can't remember
Something
either.
wants to tell me yes, but I can't remember either.
She was Mrs. Cratchit in the 1951 Scrooge, which is not Disney, but you could have seen her in that.
Hmm. She was also in Maud. If you guys watch Maud, she was in a couple of seasons of
Oh,
that.
was she?
Yeah.
Okay, she was in Happiest Millionaire. She
Okay.
played a
There.
character named Mrs. Worth.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And
I thought
then
she was.
another Disney movie. I think it's Disney. The Adventures of Bullwhip Griffin.
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
Disney.
I don't remember her at all in that movie, but
I haven't seen either of those, so I wouldn't have remembered, but she was in them.
well, if you do Happiest Millionaire, I'd love to come back for that.
It's one of those that I've been meaning to watch for years, and I probably will eventually do a
Hmm.
podcast on it because I would like to go back and do all of the like 50s, 60s, 70s musicals and comedies, either ones that I grew up with or ones that I never saw for whatever
Hmm.
reason. I should do Gnome Mobile too.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
With Walter Brennan.
Yeah. Well, Walt Disney died during the production of The Happiest Millionaire, so that's kind of
Yeah.
interesting too, just from a Disney history perspective.
That was his
Hmm,
last live action one that he was
Yeah,
working
that
on.
he was involved with, yeah.
interesting.
It's
I didn't
actually
know that.
Joyce, is her name Joyce Bulifant? Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's her name. Yeah, she was in that movie.
Yeah,
So
she's in it.
in an interview, she was saying how Walt Disney like was talking to her as like I think that was her first movie with Disney, and he was like, "I'm gonna make a star out of you," and then later he died. So
Yeah.
it never actually worked out, but it looks like he had plans to like make her like a new Haley Mills, pretty much.
Hmm. Well, then we also had Rita Shaw as the
Yes.
cook.
Yes.
She also played a cook in Pollyanna.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say she was in Pollyanna. And Elsa Lancaster has a bit part in Mary
Yeah.
Poppins too.
Katie Nana.
Yeah.
Her, to me, her most iconic role is the neighbor in That Darn Cat. That Darn Cat was
Yes.
one of
Uh,
those that I grew up with and watched over and over and over, and I have since watched many times, even as an adult. It's one of my favorites. So she
that's a
is
good one.
forever will be the nosy neighbor from That Darn Cat.
Bride of Frankenstein.
I saw that when I was researching. I've never seen The Bride of Frankenstein, but I was like, what?
Same.
That was
Yeah.
her?
Yeah, that's her. And that crazy wig, with the white stripes or, whatever you refer to that, the streaks.
I think for me, the character actor in this movie that I like a lot, because like I like whenever I see him in anything else, I enjoy his performance is Arthur Mallet as Mr. Dawes Jr. And like he's in a lot of stuff. Like he's in Hook. He's the one, the lost boy who lost loses his marbles.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow. I did not
Yes,
make
that's
that
him.
connection.
Yeah, he was the voice of. He was a voice in the Secret of Name. I forget who now. And he did like a couple other voices, but like he's been in a lot of stuff, so I like him, seeing him and stuff.
Oh, he was Mr. Ages in Secret of Nim.
Okay,
He also did a voice in The Black Cauldron, which is one of the few Disney movies I still need to
okay,
watch.
there we go.
Never seen it.
Oh, be grateful. It's so bad. But you got to see it. You got to see it, John.
Yeah, I
I
need to
don't
see
think
it.
it's that bad. I actually like it, so
Oof.
we'll see what you think. You'll see if you're
Yeah,
more towards Stanford side or West.
great. It'll be great to get your take on it. I try to like it, and I never can.
I think probably the most iconic bit part for me is Ed Wynn as Uncle Albert. I think he was the first time that I ever put two and two together as like a person doing a voice, because as soon as I heard his voice, I knew he was the Mad Hatter. So, like, his voice is so iconic.
Yeah, everyone does his voice, even if they don't know they're doing his voice.
Yeah.
King Candy in
King
Wreck-It
Yes.
Ralph
Candy
is a
is
impression.
Ed
Yeah.
Wynn. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to look that up when it first happened. I was like, isn't Ed Wynn dead? When that movie came out,
I know,
like, how did
right?
they get his voice?
They brought him out of retirement.
Yeah. And also I didn't really realize this until, probably my last watch. Reginald Owen, who plays Admiral Boom,
Hmm.
he was in a very famous version of A Christmas Carol. I
Yeah,
don't know if you've ever seen that one. That
I haven't seen that one actually.
I can't remember what is it the 1950
It's a
version? Anyway.
38 one, I think.
Oh, is it okay?
Hmm.
38. Have I seen this one?
I haven't seen it.
I've seen so many, I kind of keep forgetting which ones I have and haven't seen.
Yeah.
If it wasn't really, really good,
Yeah, you're right.
I
The
forget.
1938,
I haven't heard that it was
mark. Yeah,
very
you
good.
called it. I quite like the this night that 1938 version.
Hmm.
But again, that's just me. I think it's one that my parents liked and they
Oh,
introduced
okay.
me to it. Yeah.
Was there anybody else that was in the cast that we should mention before we move on to the story? Oh, I was going to mention that I don't know exactly who they played, but Richard and Robert Sherman had cameos in the animated cast. Like they did a bit of dialogue. And also Julie
Hmm.
Andrews and David Tomlinson did some of the creatures also.
I know David Tomlinson did the talking umbrella at the end.
Yes, that was one of his. I thought that was interesting that they had people on the cast do a few extra voices here and there.
Yeah.
Who did the Sherman brothers voice?
Yeah. Who did they voice? I don't know. That's fun.
At least on, I think on Wikipedia, it said Richard was a penguin waiter,
Oh,
and it says male Pearly, and Robert was Pearly banjo player. I don't remember what the Pearly means.
I think the
Like I,
Pearlies
Well,
are the
they
the
are that
musicians in
the super
Supercalifragilistic.
cut, yeah, that have got like the brightly colored clothing with the buttons on them, the white buttons.
oh, okay.
That makes sense that
Yeah,
they would do the singing characters.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And then the other people in the voice cast, you had Dawes Butler in there and Paul Frees,
You have to have Paul Frees in somewhere.
Dallas McKennon, Alan Napier, J. Pat O'Malley,
Yeah.
Earl Ravenscroft had a line. He was the hog. So
that's
a lot
fun.
of their staples.
Only one you're missing is Mel Blanc, but he wasn't really a Disney voice.
Yeah, I don't think he did much for Disney. The only thing I can think of is that he was like the hiccup sound for
Yeah, in
the
Pinocchio.
cat in Pinocchio.
He was a Warner Brothers guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, and Ginny Tyler, who was the voice of the squirrel in Sword in the Stone, did the
Oh,
lambs.
well,
nice.
I could tolerate them more.
And Martha Wentworth was the cow. She was Nanny in 101 Dalmatians and Madam Mim.
Nice.
Okay.
The only other side character I can think of is Mr. Binnacle, who's like super
Who
excited to light the charge.
who was there with Admiral Boom, right?
Yeah.
Was it
Hmm.
he? Okay, yeah,
Caretaker or something.
yeah.
That was Don Barclay. I'm not sure I've seen him in anything else.
I don't think so either. But yeah, I think we've run the gamut of all the side characters.
Looks like he was mostly a silent film actor.
No.
Yeah, I looked that up too. That again, I wasn't familiar with him.
Now that you mentioned that, it reminded me of the last character we didn't mention is Jane Darwell, who played the bird lady. Like
Mm.
Walt actually coaxed her out of retirement to play that lady.
Well, and then also sorry if we've already mentioned this, Dick Van Dyke's dual role
Yes,
as
Oh,
uh
yes.
as Mr. Dawes Sr. too, which I love so
I love
much.
that. And I think his accent is way better as Dawes
As
as
Mr.
senior.
Dawes
Yeah.
Sr.
He,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I had no idea that was the same actor.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
His voice sounds different. He looks different.
He
The
looks
makeup
so
on him was
different.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was him either until the first time I saw the credits at the end, and when they mentioned his credits, they put like a weird name as
Yeah,
the
that
actor, and then it's like an animation that the letters start going
the letters
rearranging, and it says Dick
rearrange.
Van Dyke. I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah, they do like an anagram, right, of his
Hmm.
name. That's really fun. Yeah.
Which I don't think I noticed because I don't remember knowing that when I was a
Hmm.
kid. He was really good as two separate people.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing we forgot to mention, Dick Van Dyke also was in three Disney movies, so
Robinson Crusoe.
and Never a Dull Moment.
Oh, I forgot about Never a Dull Moment. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen either of those.
Robin Crusoe isn't very good, so you're not missing much.
I don't think I knew that Disney did a Robinson Crusoe adaptation.
It's
It's
kind.
it's a modern one. What's it called?
It's called
Robinson Crusoe?
Lieutenant Robin Crusoe or something like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's not
Yeah.
really an adaptation, it's more of a
It's
parody, maybe.
yeah, or like a modern retelling
Hmm.
loosely based on, yeah.
It's not very good. But
Yeah, I don't remember liking it very much either.
Never a Dull Moment, I would say, is Dick Van Dyke's some of his best acting I've seen. So I would
Okay.
recommend that just for his not I wouldn't say the movie's all amazing, but just to see his acting in that. Basically, he plays a character. I think he's like a stage magician or something, but somehow he gets mixed up with a bunch of gangsters and he has to pretend that he's one of them.
Hmm.
And they're planning like some big art heist. Edward G. Robinson is in it.
Interesting. Well, we can probably get into the story now. It takes place in 1910, but I feel like it was supposed to be a different year originally.
Edward's on the throne. It's the age of men.
I don't remember what year the book was written in, but I feel like it was a different, like, I think it was supposed to be later. Oh, 1930s. Changed from the 1930s to the Edwardian era. So they rewound 20 years.
This would be even pre-World War. Well, yeah, pre-World War Two. Okay.
Yeah, pre-World War One, right?
World War Two, because World War One is 1914 to 18.
Well, this takes place in 1910.
Oh,
So,
1910. Sorry. Yes, you're right.
yeah,
Pre-World War One. Sorry, I was thinking 1930 for some reason.
it was originally going to be
Hmm.
1930. And I'd forgotten how great, like, just the shots, like, of London. I'm not sure if they were photographs or matte paintings, but either way, they looked so good.
A lot of them were matte paintings by Peter Ellenshaw, and there's like a lot of good behind the scenes stuff on, but like how he would paint it and like put little holes to like shine lights through it to like make it look like, especially like like when
Yeah.
they're at the what's it called, the roofs as like chimney sweeps, and you see like the skyline.
Yeah. I wish people would do more matte paintings.
Hmm.
Like, I think
Such a
it
great art
adds,
form.
yeah, it adds something that you just don't get when you build it in the computer.
Yeah, agreed.
I think one thing that shocked me when I found out about it was that this entire movie was done on a set.
On a set. Yeah, there was no outdoor shooting
Hmm.
in this film, and it's oh wow, it's so wonderful.
It's probably the first movie that I saw that I never realized the concept of like, filming. Oh, they make sets and then you film on a set. Like this was the first movie that kind of like that concept came into my mind. Oh, so they actually build these things and film on a set.
I guess that makes sense. It didn't register to me that there was nothing outside.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I can see that for when they're in the park. I feel like the end looks very much like it's outside though. So they did a really good job.
they did. It's great, and everything. I love Cherry Tree Lane. I just love,
Yeah,
and when they go to the park too, when they jump into the painting, that
yeah.
I think that looks great too. It's on a set.
The beginning scene when you have Mary Poppins sitting on a cloud fixing her makeup, it made me wonder like, where does she live? I don't think we're supposed to know, but I just want to know where she came from.
Yeah, do the books give any background into that? Where she's, where she's from, or is that just a mystery?
I
I
if
don't
they
know, because
do, I don't remember.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of want to say they don't, but
it's just kind of part of the allure of this character.
The mythos.
Yes, exactly.
as far as I remember, she came in just kind of blown in by the wind, like in the movie.
I always imagine her just like traveling from house to house, like whenever she's needed. So she doesn't really live anywhere besides just wherever her mission is at the time.
Well, and speaking of getting blown in, one of the things I love is when all the nannies waiting for the job interview get blown away. Then
Yes,
again, doesn't that look great? I mean, I know they're all
yes.
on wires, but holy cow, it looks terrific.
They did such a good job. Like all the special effects in this are so
Oh
good.
yeah, they're just primo,
And no computers.
No, yeah, all practical effects.
all practical.
I like after Mr. Banks hires Mary Poppins and he tells Ellen, to, send the others away. She's like, the others? She's like, yes, the others. How many nannies do you think we need around here?
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the scenes that I remember the best from when I was a kid. Just her going to the door, looking down at the little dog.
Yeah.
The position has been filled.
I always like the interview scene between Mary Poppins and Mr. Banks because it kind of sets the stage of what the relationship is supposed to be and pretty much how she kind of has the upper hand in this.
Yeah.
She kind of tricks him into
Tricks him.
everything, makes him think it's his idea.
And for those who don't know, like the Banks children wrote a poem or a song describing what they want in a nanny. If you want this choice position, have a cheery disposition, rosy cheeks, no warts, play games also. That's my Tinder thing as well. But when then he tore it up and put it in the fireplace, and then it got collected by Mary Poppins. She pasted it
Mary
together.
Poppins.
So
Yeah.
one of the funny things I love is when he's just trying to figure out like how the heck did she get that? And he's like going it over in his mind. I tore it up in pieces. And she's like, I beg your pardon, I will.
Yes, I love that line. I specifically wrote that one down because I loved the line.
Yeah.
Her delivery. I beg your pardon. Are you ill?
I hope not.
So good. Yeah.
And then acting like she has already been hired, but then seemingly having second thoughts and saying it'll be a trial basis because he's acting so weird.
Yes.
And then, of course, you have another iconic scene of her unpacking the magic bag.
Oh, the magic bag.
She, like I said in our Sword and Stone thing, she and Merlin go to the same store to buy their bags.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's such a good scene. And I'm sure there's probably like a mirror or some, or a double shot, but like the effect of her pulling stuff out of the bag and like the kids are looking and they see nothing. I love that. And then, of course, like I'm probably going to say most of this is iconic, but her finding the tape measure to see how the children measure up. And Michael is extremely stubborn and suspicious,
I
and
am
Jane is
not.
rather inclined to giggle and doesn't put things away. And then they insist that she gets measured also, and she discovers that she's practically perfect in every way.
Yep.
I know what Mr. Banks would have measured up as.
I like that I like that they included the word practically because I can tell that she's not perfect. And I like that she's not perfect because you can tell like she has moments where she gets jealous and like when he's listing off all the in the with the penguins.
It's true that Mavis and Phoebe have ways of winning and prudence and Guerlain set your heart spinning. Phoebe's delightful, modest, disarming, Janice something something charming. Yes.
She has like little moments where you can see on her face that her attitude is not perfect. And I like that about her. I like that she's not an absolutely perfect gem of a human being who does no wrong ever. I think adding the practically to that line, practically perfect in every way is perfect. I love that.
And isn't Julie Andrews' delivery of it great? You know what she's saying, just
Yes.
and just kind of that look she gets on her face, like, well, of course
Yes.
I am,
She has the, I don't know if confidence is the right word, but
Yeah, but
the
it is
self-belief, I
Yes.
guess.
yes.
Confidence is a good way to describe her because, like, at times when she has to confront Mr. Banks, like, she is able to march down with her head held high. Like, she has more confidence than I do for sure.
Yeah.
I just love her.
This was Julie Andrews' first movie, and like you could tell she knocked this out of the park.
Well, and she got the Oscar for it.
Well, yeah, yeah, that too.
So yeah, yeah, and well deserved.
Hmm.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I know that she'd been acting in other things, but I guess I'm not surprised that this is her first role and she immediately knocked it out of the park, but still, it's so great that this was her first role and she immediately knocked it out of the park.
Well, and since they didn't hire her to do the screen adaptation of My Fair Lady, I remember talking to my mom about this. My mom always thought it was just kind of poetic justice too, because she wished that Julie Andrews had gotten the film role as well, just because Rex Harrison and Julie Andrews were so iconic in that role on Broadway and those roles on Broadway.
Hmm.
But anyway, because Julie Andrews got the last laugh and Walt Disney got the last laugh on that
And like we
one.
said, like this became, her role that most people remember her for, besides, Sound of Music. But also, Audrey Hepburn, she also became that role that a lot of people would know her for in
Yeah.
Mary Fair Lady, except for maybe Breakfast at Tiffany's. So like it worked out for both of them.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I think after this, you have probably the first of the songs that I think is like the most iconic with a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down as they're cleaning the nursery.
It's like the Sherman Brothers have a lot of songs that have like messages or like there's some sort of thing that they're teaching or some message that they're giving, and this is like one of them.
Hmm.
And it's interesting how they got this idea. I think it was either Robert Sherman or Richard. I think it was Robert Sherman's son. There was some mandatory medicine that had to be given. I forget what was going on at the time in schools, but they had to drink it. And he asked his son like, well, was it like did it taste bad or was it hard to do? He's like, no, they put a cube of sugar on it first and then we drank it, so it went down and helped it go down. And he's like, ah, idea. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
It's a good one.
And the effects in this scene are just so great also.
Oh, the stop motion, yeah.
All the practical effects and like using wires and reversing footage and all the different tricks.
And the
But
animatronics with the Robin, that was like one of the early Disney animatronics too.
yeah, that was another thing that I think I read Julie Andrews did. She did the whistling for the Robins.
Oh, I believe that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like when her mirror image just
Yes.
sings more than her, and she's like cheeky.
Yeah, the
Cheeky.
scene with her getting annoyed at the mirror, I really liked that. Another instance of her having, like, I don't want to call it a character flaw, but like her attitude is not like just a beaming perfect ray of sunshine. She gets annoyed at the mirror, and I liked that.
Yeah.
And she's also annoyed at everything else in the room as it starts going crazy towards the end of the song.
When you've quite finished.
Yes. Well, I think that's one of the things I love about this character too, is that because she's not just sweetness and light. I mean, she's got an edge,
Yeah, yeah,
and maybe this is what makes her so great.
definitely. So then, of course, we have the scene at the park when they go into the paintings.
Which I think as a kid was my favorite,
Oh, probably mine too.
and I still love it now.
That's what
Yeah.
taught me the word screever.
Oh yeah.
Better know what that word meant.
Screever? Is that what
Today
he
I'm a
said?
screever, and as you can see, a screever's an artist of highest degree. Yeah, so that's a
I
chalk,
couldn't tell what that
a
word
sidewalk
was, and
painting.
I didn't look up the lyrics. I have never heard that word elsewhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably the only time I've heard it. It's probably an old word for a chalk painter.
Yeah, the only time I've hear that word, right?
Hmm. I always watch with the subtitles on, so.
I should have. I usually do. I don't know why I didn't for this one.
And remuneration. That was the first time I heard that word too. This movie taught me a lot of words.
Yeah, especially towards the end, the song with the bankers.
Yes, we'll get to that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when they jump into the painting and they're in their, their painting outfits, I guess, and Dick Van
Mhm.
Dyke says, "Mary Poppins, you look beautiful." And she's like, "You really think so?" That was the first scene they ever shot for the movie. So Julie Andrews says that was her first time in filming for a movie. That
Mm,
scene there.
Wow.
interesting. What a great first scene to have,
Right?
jumping into an animation.
I like Jolly Holiday.
Yeah, I think Jolly Holiday is up there. If like in my top three songs from this film, it's hard to pick because they're all so good.
It's a good song. I think is underrated.
I love Jolly Holiday.
I think the
Yeah.
scene goes like I would probably cut it maybe by 2 minutes, but
It goes on.
Yeah, it went on a lot longer than I remembered,
mhm.
but I
It's
also didn't
long.
really mind because, like, I was thinking that the whole animation scene was a lot shorter, and it turned out to be like a really significant part of the movie.
Mhm.
But again, I don't mind. I didn't mind that it kind of stretched out because I liked them together and I liked all the stuff they were doing. I think the part that went on the longest was probably him doing the penguin dance.
Yeah.
That they probably could have cut some of that out.
Mhm.
But other than that, I didn't really mind.
This is where everyone decides, do we ship is shipping Bert and Mary, and Mary sings that whole line where she pretty much just friend zones Bert. Poor guy.
I had wondered if there was supposed to be something between them or if they were really just friends.
I think there's another thing where Pale Travers interfered. Like she said, they cannot have any romantic interest between them.
Okay.
So I think this was the best thing they could do otherwise.
Yeah.
But I kind of I see they had a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, the chemistry
Even at the end of the
is
movie when she's smiling, like she's smiling back at Bert. So
Uh-huh. I like the idea of them just being really good friends, but I also do kind of think that they would make a good couple.
mhm.
yeah, yeah, same.
Although it probably is one of those things like I'm guessing she's essentially immortal because she comes back and she's not aged. Like we'll get to the sequel. I know it's a different actress, but it's supposed to be the same character and the same family, but the kids are adults and she's the same age. So it would be one of those things where if they became an item, he would probably end up dying and she'd be alone again.
It'll be a sacrifice worth taking.
Uh,
I like when the penguins are like, "Order what you will, there'll be no bill." It's complimentary. He's like, "I wish I could go to a restaurant and here, there'll be no bill." It's
yeah,
complimentary.
exactly.
I also noticed that when she first jumps in and everything, all their clothes change, her umbrella changes.
Oh,
So I think it's a flamingo when her umbrella, like the head on the,
I think
because
so.
it's
I
a
think you're right.
parrot normally.
Hmm.
I think it becomes a flamingo. And since it talks later, I wonder if it had talked, if it would be a different character, if it was the same character, just it looks different now.
These are the questions we ask
I
on
know.
this
These are the
podcast.
important questions.
Mhm.
And I'd also forgotten about the scene with Bert saving the fox from the hunting dogs. And the
Yes.
fox is like Irish or something. He says like "Faith the Beggar."
I think Dallas McKinnon does the fox, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
Oh, and you had mentioned J. Pat O'Malley, like doing one of the animals. So J. Pat O'Malley was the one who actually coached Dick Van Dyke into doing the Cockney accent. So Dick Van Dyke
Oh,
says like he
nice.
came to the house like for one day and gave him like a brief lesson, and that was it. And that's why his accent was so bad because an Irishman taught
I
him.
love it.
I feel like I read a line from him somewhere where he said, well, his wasn't any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
And then, of course, they all end up in a horse race, which Mary wins. This is where you get supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, another absolutely iconic song. Probably
Yeah.
the most iconic from the
Yeah,
movie.
probably one of the most famous, right?
It's also
Yeah.
somewhat controversial because there's a thing about did the Sherman Brothers invent this song or did was it previously? Because there's a similarly named song that predates Mary Poppins, and the argument is did the Sherman Brothers plagiarize that or did they like? not they never said that they invented this song, but it was just a word that they had known growing up. So like this, it's a very interesting deep dive about the origins of this word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Was it used in a movie before this, or was it just a song somewhere?
I don't think it was used in the movie. It was just like a song, like he would sing at like a camp or something.
Oh, okay.
Like I saw there was a video on YouTube once where there was like an old record playing that had the like an original version of that word. I wish I could find it again, but like the date predates Mary Poppins. Like I think Richard Sherman even once said that we never said we created this song. This was just it was a word. We never said we created the word. We said this word was something we knew growing up. So
Huh.
it's a big controversial topic about this word.
Unless they like stole it from somebody, I don't think it should be that controversial
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's a lot of songs like that that just kind of get passed on by
Hmm.
kids through word of mouth.
Yeah. Like you said, it's the most iconic, besides Chim Chim Cherry, probably it's the most iconic song of the movie.
Yeah.
There's a story I heard of the when Mary Poppins was filming Sound of Music at the same time, and she was like in one of the breaks, she was teaching the kids this song, and one of
And
the kids
Julie
was like,
Andrews.
yeah, and one of the kids was like, oh, like the Mary Poppins hadn't come out yet, so we just thought she made up that song because they never heard the song before because the movie hadn't come out yet.
Oh, that's great.
Well, at the end of that scene, you have it starts to rain, and I like that the painting starts to melt and while they're still inside it, and that's what makes them come back.
Me too.
I liked the effect. I do have to wonder though what happened to all the people and
Yes, they'll
animals.
come back in the next painting.
Okay.
Uh,
Punting on the Thames.
yeah.
And then I'm wondering if the spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. The inspiration for that song, I wonder if it also inspired this scene because they have to take medicine and all of the medicines that they take are different, even though they come out of the same bottle. Because Jane says hers tastes like lime cordial, and Michael says his is strawberry, and Mary says hers tastes like rum punch.
And
And then she
apparent
hiccups.
and apparently the kids didn't know about this trick. So like when Jane squeals when or squeaks when her medicine's a different color, it was actually a real reaction because she did not expect it to be a different color.
Oh, that makes sense because
Hmm.
I loved her reaction.
Yeah.
If that makes sense that it was genuine, that's
Hmm.
perfect.
Yeah.
How did they do that trick? Because I was thinking
I
that
don't
they did
know.
it post-production, like they just colored the frames or something.
I don't know if maybe it's like one of those trick bottles where if you hold, there's like three holes, and if you put your fingers on two of them, it opens
Okay,
from a different cavity or something.
that would make sense. Either way, the effect was really good.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
So many tricks, which I just like you're saying, Mark, how it's Disney's Magnum Opus, because I just feel like
Hmm.
so many, everything just came together, right? All the stuff
Yeah.
that, from the studio, well, including the animation, but all these great visual effects,
Yeah,
the practical effects that were also flawlessly done in this film.
Hmm. It's the most perfect Disney movie to me
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
the
me too.
effects, the cast, the music, the story, the characters. Like,
I feel like I say this a lot, but I wish more movies would do this kind of thing with their special effects.
I know, seriously.
Like, I don't have anything against CGI, but like they rely on it too heavily, and it just looks so much more interesting when you actually do the thing on screen.
Well, and just the craft of it,
Yes.
just how wonderful the skill involved and everything. I mean, not to take away from these wonderful digital artists, but yeah, this is something about a practical effect that's just so marvelous.
Yeah.
we just need one big movie to do it and be a big hit, and then every other company will
All right,
copy
well,
it.
we'll want to follow suit.
Yeah, that is kind of how things work.
Yeah.
There was also a line I really liked in here when she's putting them to bed after the medicine. They ask, "Will you promise to stay if we're good?" And she says, "Oh, that's a pie crust
Pie
promise.
Crust
Easily
Promise.
made,
Yeah.
easily broken."
My mom likes that line.
And then she tells them she'll stay until the wind changes.
Yeah, that's a great line.
That's where we get Stay Awake,
Yes.
which is the only thing I would cut if I had to make a
That's
cut.
the scene that Mark would cut. Yeah.
I did like her use of reverse psychology. She uses reverse psychology multiple times, but I liked it here. They're basically refusing to go to bed, and she's like, fine, stay awake, and then sings
Yeah.
them to sleep with a song about not
That
going to sleep.
staying awake, don't close your eyes.
If I remember correctly, I think Disney was planning to cut this song, but Julie Andrews loved it a lot. She actually wrote to P.L. Travers about it, and P.L. Travers wrote back to Walt saying, you better not cut this song."
Oh,
So
that's
that's why the
great.
song got stuck.
Awesome.
Julie Andrews weaponized P.L.
Yep.
Travers against
Yeah.
Walt. She had another line in here too that I liked when they're talking about everything that they did that day. And Mary Poppins frequently pretends that nothing magical happened.
Yeah.
And her line when they're talking about racing, she says, "A respectable person like me in a horse race? How dare you suggest such a thing?" But she's like perfectly serious when she says it.
Yes.
I love her delivery of the line.
I love that.
Well, and I love how she sits side saddle on the horse race too.
Hmm.
You know? I mean, I don't know, the whole thing works.
And she wins because she says "pardon me," and the men
Yes.
will give her a pass. I like when the kids are trying to tell their dad about what they did. It's like super what?
Yes.
So where do you say when you don't know what to say? Thankfully, I always know what to say.
I like that he's yelling about all of the noise and telling Ellen to shut the window because the bird's giving a headache, and she runs to the window. Quiet! You're giving the master an headache.
It's tough.
And I also liked in that scene Winifred getting ready for the day. And I love how cheerfully she's talking about what she's doing. She says something about going to Downing Street to throw things at the Prime Minister.
Yes.
All the stuff with her, I didn't catch anything of that when I was a kid. I had
Yeah,
no idea what she was
exactly. You
doing.
don't know what
No.
she's talking about.
You didn't know what a suffragette was when you were a kid,
I
did you?
knew, yes, I knew what a suffragette was, but I was
Okay.
very confused as to why she was a suffragette because they
Mm.
have a king in England. So who is she going to vote for?
Very good point.
That is true. I never thought about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I was so confused as a kid. I was like, is she American?
Members of Parliament, right? But still, yeah.
I didn't know how anything worked back then. I just knew they had a king, so it didn't make any sense for her to be wanting to vote.
I think that was another thing P.L. Travers didn't like. She didn't like the mother was a suffragette.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to ask you guys because I've heard different people have different opinions. Do you think that her character is like, as they use her, are the people who made the movie saying it is a good thing or a bad thing that she's a suffragette? Because different people have different opinions as to what her character means.
For me, I don't think I ever had a thought that her being a suffragette was a connection, made was any sort of message or anything. I think it was more like the Sherman brothers said, they had to have a reason for why the kids were not like why they weren't being brought up well by their father and their mother because they're both busy with something. So the father was busy with work, so the mother had to be busy with something else, and that's why they made her a suffragette. I don't think it was
Okay.
really any opinion on being a suffragette in itself.
Okay.
I don't view that. I didn't view it that way either. I mean, I agree with Mark. I didn't. I just feel like being a suffragette is part of the. I think part of the time period, and also, yeah, the mother has to be busy doing something because these kids don't have parents that are involved in their lives, and also it just seemed like it was just a thing. It was a thing. I didn't view it as necessarily good or bad,
Yeah.
but it was just a thing.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way. I
Mhm.
didn't when I was a kid, I don't think I took anything that the parents did as them being bad parents.
Yeah.
Like they could have stood to be a little more involved in their kid's life, but I didn't see them as bad parents when I was a kid.
Even Mr. Banks was like he wasn't a bad parent.
As an adult watching what he's doing, I'm like, yeah, he needed Mary Poppins to straighten him out. But I don't think I
Yeah.
really thought much about it when I was a kid.
Right, exactly. I don't think I understood it as a kid. But definitely as an adult, it resonated with me. It's a lot more. It just feels like, too, again, I guess that's the point. But the parents are they're both just so distracted.
Yeah.
You know, the kids, yeah, because they're not abusive parents or anything by any means. But I just feel like they're neglectful.
Yeah. They're busy with their own lives and they don't realize how much it's affecting their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like they hate their kids or they're abusive parents in that way. It's they're just busy with other stuff.
Exactly. I think they love their kids dearly. Yeah.
Or they're showing like Mr. Banks, I think he shows his love in the way that whatever way he knows or thinks is the best way to show his love.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we'll see like who's like, you know what, I'm gonna take Michael to the bank.
I'm gonna take him to the bank.
Even though he pretty much was tricked into doing something truly dangerous, but yeah, Mary Poppins, I mean.
She made him think it was his idea.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
We also should mention, because this scene contains another instance of Admiral Boom setting off his cannon. It's happened multiple times in the movie, and
Mhm.
it's a running gag. But like, I got to thinking as I was watching it this time, I was like, if that was really happening, that would be a nightmare to have a neighbor that did that every day,
I
just to
know.
throw your house into chaos. And also,
Yeah.
that's probably illegal if it was real.
And imagine if he did it at night with every hour, like you couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
not only would it get old, it would be mentally exhausting. It would be like torture.
Yeah, it'd be horrible. Oh, I thought they all coped with it rather well.
Yeah,
They all
like
know how to
barely
work together.
phased. Like
Yeah,
everybody
That's
knows to
everyone.
go and
they just get in their positions and catch the vases and stuff, you know?
and like in this scene, Winifred and the maid and the cook, they're all getting in their places and doing everything they need to do. And George is like he's not really even paying attention. Like the only thing that really phases him is when the piano lands in front of him and he hits some keys. He's mad that it's out of tune.
And he tells Winifred to get it tuned. He's like, "Well, George, you don't play." Madam, that's besides the point.
And then the next scene is I kind of wonder if it's based on that scene that we remember from the book because Mary Poppins can talk to a dog. And I don't
Oh,
remember if the scene in the book had Mary Poppins as part of the conversation with the
I
babies.
think Mary
And
Poppins was able to talk to animals, if I remember.
okay, so I think that must have been taken from the book then too.
Mhm.
Maybe not this exact scene, but you have this little dog named Andrew, which I I was telling somebody the other day. I love when animals are given human names, especially like oddly specific human names. And like Andrew is like one of those names. It's just I love that for a dog.
What did he say? He said, "Thank you." I don't think he said anything.
But this is where they go see Uncle Albert because apparently Andrew was alerting her to something going on with Uncle Albert.
Like a bird's like, "Oh, I haven't seen him this bad," and that's the truth.
But yeah, this is the ceiling song. This is not one of the ones that I feel like is one of the most iconic songs because I'd kind of forgotten that there was a song in this scene since it'd been so long since I'd seen it. But it's just fun to see them together. Just him and Bert like cracking up over these dumb jokes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a fun scene.
What's the name of his other leg?
And I just love the wire, the use of the wires. Special effects for me are the winner in that scene
Mhm.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it was a combination of wires and shooting on sets that are turned. 'Cause I
Yes.
think there's one part where Bert is standing on the wall briefly. So I'm assuming that they were shooting like a set that had been
Yeah.
turned on its side,
Right.
and then they superimposed it with some wire shots of Uncle Albert. But all of it was done so well.
I don't know if you guys have seen what's it called? Royal Wedding with Fred
It's Royal
Astaire.
Wedding with Fred.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Royal Wedding with
Mm-hmm.
Fred Astaire. Yeah.
And there's a dance he does where he's dancing on the wall, the ceiling, the floor, and everything.
I think I've seen that scene. I don't think I've seen the movie it came from.
Yeah, I think the way they did it, if I'm not mistaken, I think the camera is fixed, but
Yes.
the actual set rotates.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that's how they did it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that's kind of what's going on here too.
I think I've seen that in more than one movie. I can't think of any others off the
Now
top of my head.
Poltergeist did it as well.
But it's such a good effect, though.
Hmm.
It
It works
is.
so
It's
well.
terrific. It's really wonderful. Yeah.
Again, another effect that I wish people would use more
Yeah.
instead of relying on CGI to make it look like they're floating or walking on the wall or whatever.
Hollywood, if you're listening, bring back those effects.
Practical effects, please.
I like when because they're laughing so much, they're all they're all floating and they have to think of something sad to come down. So he
Yeah.
starts to tell a sad story about, oh, he ran over this guy's cat, and he went to tell the woman that I ran over your cat, and they start to, descend, and then he's like, I'd like to replace your cat. He's like, that's all right with me, but how are you catching mice? And then they all just start, and
It starts
Mary
laughing
Poppins
again.
just like rolls her eyes at that point.
I love her reactions.
Yeah, her
Even when she's
reactions are
not saying anything, she's saying so much.
are so great. Yeah. With all this craziness going on around her.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then after this scene, you have the scene where she tricks their father into taking them along because they try and tell him about this sealing adventure, and he's upset and acting like he's going to fire her over this, but she turns it around on him.
He's fine with fox hunting, though. That's tradition.
Ah,
I love how she can turn things around on him. Like he'll be upset about one thing and then she'll say something and make him think something else, and
Mhm.
she's very manipulative but in a good way.
yeah.
These silly words like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Oh, it's very good. You said it.
And then this is where you have feed the birds because she puts them to bed so they can get ready for the next day.
Mhm.
And like I said, I really liked this song. I thought I was going to be bored because I remembered being bored when I was a kid, but no, it's really good.
Like, I remember as a kid, I was a little bored too, but like
Yeah, same.
I grew to love it. Unlike Stay Awake, I'm still bored by that.
Yeah, I grew to love it. And then just knowing that, it was so dear to Walt Disney as well. And it's the message is so good. It's brilliant.
But then the next day, the kids actually find the bird lady that she was singing about, and Michael wants to use his tuppence to feed the birds, but his father refuses to let him.
Like when we get to the bank, I'll show you what you could do with your tuppence. And I think you'll find it very what was the word he used? Very like fascinating or something.
Yeah, he's right.
Something that means something like that. And I was thinking
Yeah.
as he was talking, I was like, to a kid?
Yes.
Probably not.
Investments.
Yeah. And then just knowing after you went on repeat watch, like knowing what's going to happen because
Mhm.
of the tuppence,
I
Anyway,
had not remembered the chaos caused by the tuppence.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that was a massive overreaction. Like for starters, why is the tuppence such a big deal? Because like the dad acts like it's a big deal, but it's like I don't really know what a tuppence would translate to in American money, but I can't imagine it's a
It's two
lot.
pennies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not much.
but he acts like it's this big thing, so he takes him to see his boss, Dick Van Dyke playing Mr. Dawes Sr. He's so great. But he has the whole Fidelity Fiduciary Bank song about
Yes.
investing his money. And like, I mean, it's acted very well, but I don't understand the character. Like, why is he so fixated on these tuppence to the point where he snatches them out of Michael's hand?
He's just greedy.
I guess so.
Yeah, those are good questions, John. I always, or maybe more as this, viewing it as an adult, it's the money is more important than like the lesson or the relationship with the kid, with the son.
Yeah, that's what it
Uh,
seems like.
yeah, and that's one of the things he's got to, he has to figure out.
It's hard for me to pick a favorite song in this movie, but if I had to, it'd probably be Fidelity Fiduciary Bank.
Really?
This one taught me so many words.
She said all the words.
Up to now, I don't know what a chattel is. I still don't know what a colliery is, or some of these words.
The Sherman Brothers, I thought, had a lot of fun creating these songs. Yeah, particularly this one with such
Yeah,
all these bank terms. You just wonder, like, they wrote down a list of all these different financial terms. Like, how can we
yeah.
put, how can we incorporate this into our song?
I was thinking they either had a massive vocabulary or they were expert at wielding a thesaurus.
Yeah, I'm voting the latter, John. But but with emphasis on expert though, right? Because they were just so
Yeah, because not
so
everybody
good,
can
so
use a
good.
thesaurus well.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
sometimes you can tell when somebody just reads the thesaurus and just picks out a word. And it's
Hmm.
like, do you actually know what you're saying? But I think
right.
with these songs, even though they're using words that we would not use in everyday language, they still use them well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Like I didn't know what the meaning difference between affluence and influence was until I heard this
Until
song.
yeah, yeah. learning the lyrics to this song.
Mary Poppins is an educational program.
There you go. Sponsored by viewers like you. Thank you.
But yeah, he's Mr. Dawes Sr. is not the only person to have an over the top reaction here because after he snatches the money out of his hand, Michael starts screaming because, of course, he's a little kid. But it causes a bank run. I had completely forgotten about the bank run.
Because everyone's hearing, oh, someone's not getting their money back. Well, I want mine back. And then
Yes.
I don't know how the news spread so quickly because
Yeah,
there's no
because the
social media or news or anything, but everyone just starts running to the bank.
Word of
yeah,
mouth and instant panic.
yeah, by the time the kids are able to get outside, there's people crowding in from outside. It's like, how did you hear about this? It happened two
Yes.
minutes ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as they're running away, they bump into a couple of things. But one person they bump into is I forget her name, Betty Lou Gerson, I think. She's the voice of Cruella de Vil.
Oh, really? I was
Yeah.
wondering about that character. I was like, what is
Hmm.
up with this creepy old lady?
Granny alloyed you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then they bump into Bert.
And this is where you get Chim Chim Tree.
I think this is like one of the, especially as I grew older, it's where you start to understand Mr. Banks because it's like when Bert is trying to explain to the kids, about, how hard a job Mr. Banks has. And like if
Hmm.
something goes wrong, he has no one to turn to. But like if you guys have any problem, you can come to, there's so many people you guys could turn to.
I liked the line when he's talking about who they can go to. He
Hmm.
says, when something goes wrong, he just keeps going, uncomplaining and silent. And Michael says,
He's
he's
not.
not very silent.
He's like, Mike. And then she's like, Michael, be quiet. And then we get Chim Chim Cherry, as you said, which is the song that won the Oscar.
Yeah, it won the Oscar, and I love it too. Yeah.
Did Feed the Birds get nominated?
Not sure.
I'm not sure.
Here, look that up. Let's see.
I mean, there's so many good songs. I'm not going to fault Chim Chim Cheree for
Oh
being the
yeah,
one that got the award, but it wouldn't be the one that I would pick right off the top of my head as the best song. It's certainly one of the most memorable for sure.
Yeah,
let's see. Okay, Academy Awards. No, yeah, it was only Chim Chim Cherry that was nominated for best song.
Huh.
interesting.
I mean, that's fine. They deserve something.
Yeah. Oh, and bringing back to like what I said about David Thomason of how like I'm annoyed like people don't ever talk about him in interviews. Another thing I'm annoyed also, or just like I'm just like curious about is like no one ever mentions the director of this movie, Robert Stevenson.
Robert Stevenson.
Everyone talks about Walt, which Walt was in charge of everything, so he was always doing everything. But the actual director was Robert Stevenson, and I've never heard in an interview anyone mention anything about Robert or any anecdote about him or any mention of him.
Yeah, it's true. He doesn't seem to get mentioned a lot, but he did a lot of great work at Disney.
Hmm. And this was his best movie too.
Yeah, yeah, no question.
I guess I don't really give much thought to who directed a lot of the Disney live action ones.
Yeah, they kind of get
He did a lot
people.
though, looking him up now.
He
Yeah,
did
he did a lot
and
of
get
movies for Disney.
really prolific. Yeah.
He did some of my favorites.
I was gonna say, John, yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, did he direct Bedknobs and Broomsticks?
Yeah,
Yeah, and That Darn Cat, and The Misadventures of Merlin Jones, and The Monkey's
See?
Uncle, The Absent-Minded Professor.
the huge Shaggy Dog.
He did Shaggy DA.
Oh, it's okay. I like that one.
Well, after the kids go back home, there was another scene that it just made me laugh because it's another thing that I did not notice as a kid. Because everybody's busy. It's Mary Poppins' day off. So Winifred asks Bert to stay with the kids and clean their chimney because she's going to prison to sing with all the ladies who were arrested at the last thing that they did. Presumably when they went to toss things at the prime minister.
Yeah.
That would do it.
I did not catch that when I was a kid. Most of the things with the mom character I did not catch when I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah, same.
And then this is where you have one of the most memorable sequences after the animated sequence, of course, when the kids get sucked up the chimney and Mary Poppins and Bert have to go up and rescue them. But it turns into a long rooftop adventure.
And Step in Time dance
Yes,
sequence.
dance number.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the detail of Mary fixing her makeup again because she fixed her makeup at the beginning with a little
Hmm.
compact thing, but this time she's just messing up her face more, like
Hmm.
purposely adding more soot.
Adding more soot, yeah.
And then you have the staircase of smoke that she creates. I think they're going to the top of Big Ben. I wasn't 100% sure. I just assumed it was Big Ben.
I'm not sure.
It might not have been, but I think it was a clock tower. And then Admiral Boom thinks that they're under attack,
Yeah.
so they start shooting fireworks at them.
Mr. Binnacle is so happy to finally shoot off the fireworks. It's like, hi, hi, sir.
I think my favorite part of the whole song is when they dive for cover and end up in the bank's house,
Mhm.
and they're like dancing with the cook and the housekeeper and repeating at what they're saying, and then repeating the mom and dad as they come in also.
Yeah.
I just love how shocked Mr. Banks is when he walks in. He's like, what's all this?
Yeah. What is
Yes.
going on?
Like this guy he just had his worst day ever at work. And he walks into his house and he sees this.
The chimney sweeps, or yeah.
He's momentarily too confused to be furious. That, of course, goes away. He's furious later, but at the moment, he's just like, I mean, what else would you do if you walked into your house and there was a bunch of chimney sweeps dancing everywhere? Oh, and I love
Yeah.
the little bit with Michael trying to sneak out dressed as a mini chimney
Yeah.
sweep.
Yeah.
And then another of my absolute favorite lines. Mary Poppins, will you be good enough to explain all this? First of all, I would like to make one thing perfectly clear. I never explain anything.
Yeah.
I love her. She's so great. And then, of course, the phone rings and he's being called back to the bank because they're about to fire him.
They're gonna can him, yeah.
And then this is where you get the scene with him and Bert.
This is the only scene where they actually interact.
Yeah, Bert's trying to clean up and then he comes in and he sings his sad song.
Just like one of my favorite scenes. It's like
It's such a good scene.
you get to understand Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks is a character, and Bert also is helping Mr. Banks understand like how time is going. His kids are they're gonna get old soon, grow up
Yeah,
soon.
I like the way that like when he first goes into the scene, he's like blaming Mary Poppins for everything,
Hmm.
but Bert like very gently makes him understand that this is his fault and he needs to be fixing things here before Jane and Michael get too old. I like the way that Bert talked to him. He's very matter of fact and he points out that he's making incorrect choices, but he's not mean about it at all. He's very gentle
Gentle.
about his chastisement, I guess.
Yeah.
You've got to grind, grind, grind at that grindstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bert is a really great character too.
And then Michael finally gives him his
Yeah.
tuppence.
I know.
I
Cute
really liked the
Michael.
scene when the kids know something is up, so he goes down and gives him his tuppence. Yeah, I like the kids. I like all the characters.
Yeah, the kids are really adorable.
And then the scene itself is sad, but like when he leaves and then as he's just walking to the bank, like that, it's just the whole part is sad.
I really liked the cinematography for
Hmm.
that. It
Yeah, the
was very moody.
cinematography is it really stands out. And again, cool practical effects because they weren't outside.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I love how it was done with matte painting and yeah, cool lighting and yeah.
they did such a good job. And that's it's not just outside too, because when he gets into the bank, like walking through the halls, and then the completely dark room with the spotlight and the red
Yes,
carpet, they just set the scenes really well.
And like I never thought of it, never crossed my mind, but I know some people said that like when he's walking to the bank and he passes, where the bird lady is supposed to sit and she's not there. So some people, the way they read it is that she had died.
that she died.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
So it was like his realization about like how things can change so quickly.
I don't
yeah.
think that didn't register with me.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but I've heard that before.
I think that's an interesting interpretation. Yeah,
But even though this is technically a serious scene, it had a lot that made me laugh because the way they're chewing him out about causing the first bank run since the 1700s.
Yeah.
But the bank run that they're talking about is something that resulted from the Boston Tea Party.
Hmm.
And I love the way they described the Boston Tea Party as basically a group of men behaving very rudely and throwing the tea overboard, making it unsuitable for drinking, even for
Even for
Americans.
Americans.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure exactly what they're doing because they're firing him, but it's like they're trying to add insult to injury. I don't know if there's a specific meaning for this. They tear up his corsage, they flip his umbrella inside out, and they punch through his hat. Like, is there a reason for that, or are they just being mean?
Dishonor
They're
on
just
your
being
cow,
mean.
dishonor on
Yeah.
everything.
Just trying to humiliate him, But yeah, good question.
Yeah, I was just confused. It just seemed like an extra insult on top of the firing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Dawes Sr. is enjoying it. And then Mr. Banks just snaps or he just breaks.
Just starts laughing.
Like that's how I feel the Joker's origin story is.
In another universe, Mr.
In
Banks
another
could have gone on
universe.
a crime spree. But I loved, well, like you said, he kind of snapped. He says supercalifragilistic and he starts telling one of the jokes that Uncle
Mhm.
Albert had
Yeah.
given to Michael, the one with a wooden leg named
Name
Smith.
Smith, yeah.
And what did he call the other leg? And then after he's leaving, he's gone. It's a very delayed reaction from
Yeah,
Mr.
yes.
Dawes Sr. He finally understands the joke.
I love it when he's just repeating to himself a wooden leg named Smith. Like he's trying to it's like three
Doesn't Dick Van
times.
Dyke just nail that?
Yes. It's so good.
And then he dies laughing.
Yes.
Which I love that too.
Although he in this scene, we don't see him die, but we see him
Mm.
floating up in the air laughing, and his son is like absolutely freaking out.
Yeah, his
Like,
Daddy,
son
come
is
back.
just terrified.
and I was thinking like this is an over the top reaction, except is it? Because like if your father started laughing and then just floating
Start
away,
floating in the
what would you
air.
do?
Yeah,
Like
you freak out.
my initial reaction was like this is a bit much, but then like maybe it's not a bit much.
It's just the right
Exactly.
amount.
But then I also wondered because you find out later that he died. Did he die while he was floating? And if so, did he just crash to
Did
the
he
earth?
just like crash to the ground? Yeah.
Yeah, check the postmortem on that one.
Right. Well, and see, these guys are so stuffy, right? That whole
Uh-huh.
thing is just almost liberating.
The next day, you get the shot of the wind changing,
Mhm.
The weather vane,
weather
right?
vane.
Isn't
I
it?
was going to call
Yeah.
it a windmill, but it's not a windmill. It's a weather vane.
Might as well be called a windmill.
It points in the other direction, so you know Mary Poppins is going to be leaving soon. And another scene that I did not pick up on as a kid, everybody's freaking out because George didn't come home the night before. You got the
Hmm.
policeman on the phone.
Yeah,
They
calling
think
the
he
police.
killed himself.
Yes. It's a spot popular with jumpers.
I did not get that as a kid. They're talking about trawling the water, trying to find the body.
Yes. That just goes over your head.
Yeah, they wrote it so well though, because like you know exactly what's going on as an adult, but as a kid, I had no idea, and that's
Mhm.
fine. Another line that cracked me up because he comes home and he's seeing a spoonful of sugar, and everybody thinks he's gone crazy, and Ellen said,
Yes.
"Gone off his crumpet. That's what it's done. Dotty as you please."
Everyone was so good in this movie.
Yeah. And then this is where all of the family finally comes together. The kids are upset because Mary Poppins is leaving, but their dad shows them that he's fixed their kite and they're happy again. So they go out to fly it.
Forget about her, pretty much.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
And Winifred gives them one of her sashes to use as a tail.
One of my favorite lines is when the cop is on the phone. He's telling his boss, like, "Yeah, go fly a kite." No, sir, I didn't mean you personally.
Yeah.
And then you get a scene that I don't really understand why this happens. They rehire him Because like Mr. Dawes Sr. has died, and his son hires him back and makes him a partner.
I think it's because he finally gave his dad something to be happy about.
To be happy about. Yeah.
And he died and there's a spot, so hey, might as well take it.
Yeah, I guess if they'd known he was a good worker beforehand, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
forgave his son's problems from the day before.
Sounds peccadillos, yes.
And then this is where the waterworks started for me. The last time I watched this, I just really hit me how brilliant it was. Again, I guess of everybody, of all, the whole creative team, the whole concept of, flying a kite, with the wind and the family coming together and mom and dad figuring it out with the kids. And I just love it.
Yeah. You have the scene where they reveal that her umbrella is sentient.
Never heard it put
Right.
quite that way, but yes, you're right.
Yes.
I did like their conversation because the umbrella is all indignant that they would just leave it without saying goodbye. And he makes some remark about you'd think they like their dad better than you. And she just looks at him and it's like, as it should be.
Mhm. That was David Tomlinson, like you said.
Yes. And then she makes some comment about practically perfect people should never let sentimentality muddle their thinking. And then she pops open the umbrella and flies away. And Bert is the only one who sees her leaving. He says, "Goodbye, Mary Poppins. Don't stay away too long."
And she smiled back at him,
Yeah.
meaning
Yeah.
she loves him.
Yeah, I love that. Well, it's a great smile she gives him, don't you think? Yeah, this is kind of a loving look.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see why people would ship them.
Yeah, no
Hmm.
question.
I wonder if Walt had any intentions before P.L. Travers shut it down.
Put the smack down.
I mean, the fact that they have such good chemistry would make you think that he would have wanted to do something in that direction, but I don't know.
It's interesting though that Julie Andrews didn't do another film for Disney. I mean that while he was alive.
Yeah, not until the Princess Diaries.
Hmm.
And I love that they filmed on the studio lot, which have, had the joy of taking a tour of. They renamed the soundstage the Julie Andrews soundstage
Oh, nice.
that
Oh,
they filmed Mary Poppins. And that's where they filmed some of the Princess Diaries too, was on that same
interesting.
soundstage,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think I knew that.
which I thought was cool.
I was just thinking how a lot of the film's cast or crew lived to be like a long age. Like Julie Andrews will be 90 this year.
Yeah, and Glynis
Dick
Johns, didn't she
Glennis
make did
John,
she make it to a
she made it
hundred?
100, yeah, before she died. Dick Van Dyke will be 100 this year. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman was 95, I think.
There's not a lot of people from that era still living.
Mm-hmm. You just have like Eva Marie Saint and June Lockhart and yeah, a couple others.
Any final thoughts on Mary Poppins?
I think that it holds up incredibly well. Just which makes me so happy. I just feel like it's just going to be an enduring classic film.
Yeah. It has held up better than a lot of other, even Disney movies of the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Because even some movies that I really like from the time, they don't age that well. Like whether things either don't make sense or jokes don't age or special effects look kind of meh. This one, it is one of the best aged live action Disney movies that they did. They put everything into this movie, and because of that, it has held up so well.
Yeah, you can tell that they made this, like you say, with quality in mind. And because everything was done with quality, it actually holds up.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. One of the greats for the Disney Studios. They're just one of the greats.
Yeah. And one of the few that has a much delayed sequel that actually is good. We'll
Yeah,
talk about it next time, but like this is for Disney has tried to make sequels to so many of their old movies, mostly to very poor results. For whatever reason, Mary Poppins Returns, it's so good. Like I was shocked that it is as good as it is. I was expecting I was expecting it to not be good.
hmm.
I was shocked at how good it is. So I'm very excited to revisit it next time.
No, I like it a lot too. When they first announced it, I wasn't a fan because I felt Mary Poppins is a movie that shouldn't have a sequel. But this was also like right smack dab in the time where we're getting live action remakes of everything. So
Mm,
I'm like, you know what? I'll take a sequel rather
Yeah,
than a
instead of
live action remake.
a remake. Yeah.
If this was announced in any other time period, I probably would have been more against the idea. But because it happened when it did, I'm like, you know what? I'll take a sequel.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And it definitely is a quality film. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if you're going to do a sequel to a movie that was made so long ago, make it make sense. And Mary Poppins makes sense. I think there are 5 books that P.L. Travers wrote. There's plenty of stuff that you can go to for a sequel instead of just making up Bambi 2 and making up a whole bunch of stuff that happened in the middle of the story.
Yeah.
It makes so much more sense to adapt more of the original work to make a sequel.
Yeah.
So we will be back soon to talk about Mary Poppins Returns.
We'll return to talk about it.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to watching it again. It's been a while since I've seen it. So until next time, do you guys want to let people know where they can find you if they'd like more from you, Mark?
Yeah, thanks for having me, like usual. And you can find me on my blogs, The Animation Commendation, at theanimationcommendation.com. I have animation type news, top 13 list. I do a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Animation Edition game show there. And I also have My Live Action Disney Project at myliveactiondisneyproject.com, where I'm trying to watch and review every single theatrically released live action Disney movie I ever made. It's been kind of hard with the work being busy recently to keep up on that one, but, keep following me there. Thanks.
And Stanford?
I've got a movie podcast that you can find at moviespastandpresent.com, and I'm on Instagram. My handle is at moviespap as in past and present.
Okay, well, we will see you next time for Mary Poppins Returns. Thanks for listening to the Disney Movie Marathon. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and follow my co-hosts as well. My link tree and all of our links will be in the description below. If you want more of my content, all my podcasts are available on YouTube as well as most podcast platforms. If you enjoyed this show, check out one of the other podcasts or check out my Patreon for bonus and extended episodes you won't find anywhere else. We'll be back soon with another brand new episode, so thanks for listening and we'll see you next time.